Hello friends, in today's episode we will be talking about two interesting matches of Saturday, Netherlands-Malaysia and Germany-Pakistan, and also the big Belgium test for India. We have former World Cup winning captain and coach Rick Charlesworth with us, and former Indian captain Dilip Turkey, and senior journalist Sandeep Mishra to talk about all these matches. Gentlemen, first of all, the Netherlands-Malaysia game, the scoreline sum up the whole match. Would you agree to that?
Well, yeah, it was a pretty dominant performance by the Netherlands. They would have been very happy to win the match, but to score 7 goals is promising. It's a good start to the tournament. A lot of their players got on the score sheet. They scored a corner. I think they'd be very happy with that outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that match also showed. I thought Malaysia came in underprepared. I mean, it definitely looked like that. The Dutch were dominant, but more was expected. More also is expected when Altmans is on that side, and I think a lot of Pakistanis would be happy because he kind of left them in the middle and walked off. But taking away from that fact, I think Malaysia's got a lot to do. They also do believe that finishing third is probably what is required in that pool. So, but yeah, they need to be upping their performance a lot.
दिलीप, एक बड़ा स्टेटमेंट नीदरलैंड्स ने बनाया कल के मैच से कि हाँ, हम वर्ल्ड कप को काफ़ी सीरियसली ले रहे हैं एंड वी आर हियर टू स्टे एंड टेक होम द वर्ल्ड कप.
बिल्कुल, जिस तरीके से उनका बयान है मेरे ख्याल उसी हिसाब से प्रिपेयर किए हुए हैं. कल का मैच हम देखेंगे जिस तरीके से हॉलैंड ने परफॉर्मेंस किया. मेरा उम्मीद था कि मलेशिया और बेटर परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे जिससे पास्ट परफॉर्मेंस हमने देखे हैं उनके, लेकिन उस हिसाब से कुछ खास कुछ कर नहीं पाए, जो कि उसका फ़ायदा हॉलैंड ने काफ़ी प्रेशर दबाव बना के रखा. और मेरे ख्याल से ऑल आउट कल खेले, जैसे लग रहा था कि जस्ट एक प्रैक्टिस मैच खेलने इस तरीके से लग रहा था. मेरे ख्याल से सही स्टेटमेंट दिए हैं, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से मलेशिया के साथ भी एक सेकंड का उन्हें कहीं भी कैजुअल नहीं दिखा. इतना गोल करने के बाद भी हॉलैंड टीम का मैंने कहीं भी कैजुअल कहीं पे अप्रोच नहीं दिखा. तो मेरे ख्याल से सही बोल रहे हैं कि बिल्कुल 60 मिनट प्रिपेयर करके आए हुए हैं.
Rick, what Dilip said was that it was like more like a practice match for the Netherlands. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, well, I heard practice match in there. Yeah, I think that they only scored their second goal in the 21st minute. So Malaysia were okay for a while, but they allowed too many balls deep into their circle. So their defending was poor. It's an issue that for instance, India will have today against Belgium. But it's important that you don't allow those balls to penetrate deep into the circle. Once the second goal was scored, then I think Malaysia were in trouble. As long as they were in touch, there was a chance. So the first quarter wasn't too bad, but when it got away from them in the second quarter and they started to fumble the ball and lose possession, they really did lose their way.
Brilliant movement in the first two quarters from the Netherlands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they came out that they needed to make a statement. I think Holland normally, and I've been seeing them for the last 4 or 5 years, even in the Hockey World League semi-finals in London. You could see them coming furiously out. They wanted more goals and more goals. I think that's where, if in the first 2 quarters, if Malaysia could have kind of kept them away, they could have gained strength. They would have had some confidence going into the third and fourth. But with goals coming in and so easily, when you're being penetrated, you know that the defense is fragile, then it becomes a huge problem even for the bench and the coach and for the team to kind of recover. And I think the Dutch just didn't let them recover from that particular stage.
Guys, what makes Malaysia, a good team at the Asia level, but when it comes to, playing against the global and world level teams, they're poor at it? Why that's so?
They're enigmatic, aren't they? They're up and down. It's hard to fathom. I mean, they played so well in the Asian games. They looked like they had the final one, and then extraordinarily they lost the unlosable match. That must have had a psychological effect, I suspect. But they have skillful players and talent, and they even made a couple of chances in the first quarter. But it was erratic and it wasn't consistent. And sometimes, when they score, they get on a high. They can be very dangerous. But unfortunately, yesterday once it was 2, it looked like it might be more, and that's what turned out.
दिलीप, आपको लगता है ओल्टमन्स के मलेशिया टीम के कोच बनने में शायद थोड़ा लेट हो गया था? क्योंकि खुद मैंने रोलांड से बात की तो उन्होंने कहा 5 महीना शायद इतना सही टाइम नहीं होता है। उस पर एग्री करेंगे?
बिल्कुल सही बात। ऑल्टमैन ने कहा कि 5 महीना बहुत कम समय रहता है कोच के लिए, क्योंकि वर्ल्ड कप में परफॉर्म करना उस लेवल में काफ़ी डिफिकल्ट होता है। लेकिन मलेशिया टीम जिस तरीके से मैं भी देखा हूँ, जैसे आप इससे पहले कह रहे थे कि एशियन लेवल तक का उनका परफॉर्मेंस ठीक है, मैं मानता हूँ। और जैसे इंडियन टीम के साथ उन्होंने 2 बार ड्रॉ मैचेस खेल चुके हैं, जो कि इंडियन टीम मेरे ख्याल से अपना बेस्ट टीम सब जगह खेले हुए हैं। सो इन एशियन लेवल तक मेरे ख्याल से मुझे लगता है कि मलेशियन टीम हमेशा अपने पेस में खिलाना चाहता है। मैंने भी एक्सपीरियंस गेन किया है, और हम भी मलेशिया से मैक्सिमम मैच जीत चुके हैं, लेकिन कई दफ़ा हार भी चुके हैं। लेकिन हमेशा उनका स्ट्रेटजी यही रहता है कि अपने पेस में हमेशा खिलाना चाहते हैं, और हम यदि उनके पेस में फंस गए तो मैच चला जाता है। जैसे लास्ट एशियन गेम्स में सेम हुआ। तो जब जैसे हॉलैंड ने अपना पेस में खिलाना, पेस के जो अटैकिंग के पेस था काफ़ी वाइड करके काफ़ी अटैकिंग में काफ़ी ध्यान दिए, इसलिए मेरे ख्याल से जब मलेशिया टीम ब्रेक होगी और उसका फ़ायदा हॉलैंड टीम को मिला।
The only highlight for the Malaysian team was the goalkeeper. Had it not been for him, more goals would have been scored, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's experienced. He's been there for more than a decade now, Subramaniam, and I think he pulled off 5-6 excellent saves in that. I mean, it could easily have gone into double figures and plus,
There were nearly 30 shots on goal.
Yeah.
He didn't make a mistake. I don't think he made an error. Maybe the last one he got his toe to it, But all of the others were what you would call unstoppable. And he made, you were unfair on him. I reckon he made 15 good saves, but in the end he was like Horatio at the bridge. He was overwhelmed, and that was the problem.
As a coach, how difficult will it be for Roland to, motivate the boys from here for the further, tournaments?
It's difficult after that result, but you only have to finish third, and so that means you can then go into the crossovers, and you still have a chance, and so I think that makes this tournament still open. Even teams who lost on the first day, they know a victory in any of the 3 games is probably good enough to get them into third spot. So I think they would fancy themselves. They have some pretty good results against Pakistan. Germany aren't the same force that I think Netherlands are. So they would still see some light at the end of the tunnel.
And how would you define the slow starts of big teams like Australia, England, and Germany compared to the start that Netherlands got yesterday?
Well, Netherlands and India had good starts. They scored early and they kept going. Australia scored early, then they had a setback. But if you look at the performance in the end, it was pretty dominant. It's just that that against Ireland a tough team, and they held out. And I think that the same was the case. I think Pakistan played a pretty good game. They played within their limitations. They managed the match pretty well. They defended well, and they were unlucky. The goal was a bit unfortunate. The ball just spilt into a space. So Pakistan perhaps were unlucky. China surprised people. That was a nice surprise. But for Malaysia's performance, all of those teams that have lost have been pretty competitive.
Do you think the team takes time to grow into the tournaments, bigger tournaments like a World Cup?
Yeah, I think especially in this kind of a format, where at the back of the mind, the coach, even for lesser teams like China and all, they know that one good game and they could be in their third spot in the pool. So they will take their time to grow into the tournament. And big teams normally do take a little bit more time than most, because they do these combinations with players, how the opponent is panning out and all of that. Australia may have had a slow start, or even Germany, but I do believe and I do see them growing into the matches that are coming in. And it won't be really a big surprise to see the normal 6 or the normal top 7 still making it their way into the quarterfinals and looking to make into the semi-finals. So in that way they will surely grow in.
दिलीप, आपने 3 वर्ल्ड कप्स खेले हैं. एज अ प्लेयर क्या टाइम लगता है एक टूर्नामेंट में एक टीम को ग्रो करने के लिए? जैसे जैसे मैचेस जाते हैं टीम ग्रोस. बिल्कुल
बिल्कुल मैं कहूँगा जैसे टीम के परफॉर्मेंस के ऊपर रहता है हमेशा. लेकिन कई बार क्या होता है जैसे खासकर कई सारी टीम्स फर्स्ट मैच में यदि अपना परफॉर्मेंस कर नहीं पाते अपने टीम के स्टैंडर्ड के हिसाब से कहीं ना कहीं सुधारने की कोशिश करते हैं. लेकिन टाइम है जैसे रिक चार्ल्स ने कहा कि यहाँ पे आपको सेकेंड और थर्ड जो पोजीशन में जितने भी आ रहे हैं उनके लिए टाइम है रिकवर करने के लिए. और मेरे ख्याल से मलेशिया जैसे टीम है जो कि इतना मैचेस खेल चुके हैं, इतना मैचेस अभी रिसेंटली खेल चुके हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से जो लास्ट मैच का जो परफॉर्मेंस है उसे रिकवरी करके नेक्स्ट मैच के लिए फोकस करेंगे. डेफिनेटली स्लोली फ्यूचर मैच के लिए रिकवरी करके बेटर मैच खेलेंगे.
Do you guys agree to the fact that Germans they push themselves more than the Pakistani team pushed them? Would you agree to that?
Well, I think that they were a little bit surprised. Had they scored early, it might have been a different story. Pakistan held out. Pakistan were also hurting them at the other end, making penetrations. So I think maybe they underestimated how good Pakistan would play. But as the game went on, further and further, then Germany had to push pretty hard to get the result. And as I said, perhaps in the end they were quite lucky.
Yeah. Would you agree to that they were being lucky?
In a way, yeah, because there were a couple of very sharp chances that came in the third and the fourth quarter for Pakistan. It could have gone in. I mean, one slight deflection and the ball would have been, and in 1-1, I think Germany would have been hard pressed at that point of time because they had taken, I guess they took the match a little for granted. They thought that this is going to be an easy one, but Pakistan surprised themselves. Pakistan surprised a lot of people yesterday, in fact.
The fitness of the Pakistan team a bit of a concern considering that they lost the steam at the end in the fourth quarter.
मैं भी सरप्राइज हो रहा हूँ. मुझे भी आश्चर्य हो रहा है कि पाकिस्तान का मेरे ख्याल से मैंने पास्ट कितने सारे मैच देखे सबसे बेस्ट मैच खेले हैं उन्होंने. पाकिस्तान टीम कल जर्मनी के साथ कल बेस्ट मैच खेले हुए हैं. कल कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ खेल रहे थे. आई मीन अटैक भी उनका प्लानिंग के साथ अटैक भी एटलीस्ट बस डी के अंदर काफ़ी पेनिट्रेशन हुआ, काफ़ी डी के पास पहुँचे हैं. बस इतने ही कि बस गोल कर नहीं पाए हैं. अदरवाइज पाकिस्तान का टीम मेरे ख्याल से कल बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस किए हैं. हम हमेशा जर्मनी के काउंट करें, जर्मनी है वर्ल्ड क्लास टीम, लेकिन उसके साथ फर्स्ट मैच फैंटास्टिक अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस किया पाकिस्तान ने.
The first match for today will be Canada versus South Africa. Not that interesting a match. The audience will be expecting. What do you guys make of that match, Canada versus South Africa?
I think, looking at that pool, you're looking at, by all means, you're looking at a 1-2 Belgium, India finish or whatever, unless there is a massive surprise when the last matches of the round come up. So I think this is a matchup for third spot. I think that's what they're all going for. Canada and South Africa. Canada surprised India at the Hockey World League semi-finals. The scoreline of 3-2. We had more chances and everything. But I think they have also grown. They have in terms of they have always performed well at the World Cup. I still remember 98. They probably drew 4-4 with Germany in that World Cup on a night when it was raining like mad out there. And I still feel Canada has an upper hand here.
The France team's structure is quite definite. What do you have to say? Is it because they've been playing more and more of domestic hockey?
I'm sorry, we went to France.
The France,
The France team.
Well, my thing about the French team is I think they surprised people too. They are a pretty well organised team, and they made interestingly they probably had the better of the play. They had more chances, more penetrations than New Zealand, and lost the game. One goalkeeping error at the end, and otherwise it's 1-1. So I think in respect of a team like France, then you've got to say they're never a pushover. Never a pushover. I know from Australia's point of view, we often struggle against France. We penetrate, we look like we'll score, their goalkeeper holds us out, they run to the other end and they can make a goal. They've got a couple of dangerous strikers. Masson was very impressive the other day, and they have a corner. And their goalkeeping was good, except for that one error near the end there, which cost them the game. They would have had a point.
वो आपका क्या प्रेडिक्शन रहेगा कनाडा और फ्रांस के मैच से आज?
देखिए दोनों टीम
No, Canada and
South
South Africa.
Sorry, Canada and South Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
कनाडा भी टीम मेरे ख्याल से वर्ल्ड कप में हमेशा उनका परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा रहा, जैसे संदीप जी ने कहा है। हालांकि फर्स्ट मैच भी काफ़ी क्लोज मैच रहा है, तो डेफिनेटली उनका भी मोरल कॉन्फिडेंस बेटर हो गया होगा। मुझे भी लग रहा है कि अपर हैंड कनाडा रहेगा आज का मैच में भी, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से साउथ अफ्रीका टीम परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं उसके हिसाब से बेटर मुझे लग रहा है कि कनाडा टीम बेटर परफॉर्मेंस करेगा।
Apologies, gentlemen. It's South Africa,
South
not
Africa,
France.
yeah.
But after a 5-0 defeat against India in the first match, how difficult will it be for the boys to make a comeback in today's match?
Well, as Sundeep said, this is a final for these two teams. They're playing for that third spot in the league, so it's crucial. If you look at the history, South Africa's beaten Canada more than Canada's beaten South Africa, and so you'd have to say this is a toss-up. On form, I think Canada is playing the better, and they seem the better organised. But there's some dangerous players in South Africa. In Austin Smith, they have a good organiser at the back. He's a dangerous corner taker. In Hikes and Drummond, people like that, they can score goals, they can break away. I think this is an even contest. And for both of these teams, this is the most critical match they're going to play. So while looking from a distance we say, oh, this one's not so interesting, if you come from Canada or South Africa, this is the final.
This is the final.
Will you say that it will be a close contested match today?
Oh yeah, it's going to be extremely close because both of them want that spot. Nobody wants to go away early. I mean, no team would want to end up fourth and then go home. So in that way, this is like Rick says, this is a final for them. They go in third, then they can up their ambitions. Okay, now what are you going to do in the crossover? But number 4, nobody wants to finish that.
And the last match of today will be the big Belgium challenge for India. How do you look at that match?
Yeah, well, India were very good the other day. I think they have a very good team now, real consistency. It's interesting. If you asked me 6 months ago, I would have said, well, Sardar will be playing, Rupinder will be playing, SB Sunil will be playing, and none of those are playing, and yet we still have a good Indian team. That's something. Says something about the depth that now exists. So the challenge for India will be that what Belgium do, and Belgium is powerful, they fire lots of balls into the circle. They hit balls hard into the circle, maybe 20 or 30 a game, and you've got to be able to defend the edge of your circle. And yesterday the mistake that the Malaysians made was they allowed those balls to penetrate deep into the circle. You can't allow that. You have to have your perimeter defended well, and you have to put pressure on the people firing those passes. That'll be the challenge for India. If India does that, when they get hold of the ball and counter, then they'll cause trouble for Belgium. And the other day, I thought the Indian strikers, and particularly someone like Akashdeep, he was terrific. He made the play, he set things up, he's deceptive in the way he passes. They have real quality and talent at the front. They have to make sure they defend at the back.
We'll talk about Akashdeep Singh later. How different are the playing styles of India and Belgium? In
a way, there are times when during the quarters over the last decade, I can start saying with that particular point that Belgium has been the dominant team. They have played better, they have dominated India. And in parts of the quarter, you can almost feel that they play similar styles sometimes when they are attacking, because they attack with a lot of aggression. But the main point, in the matches that we have won against them, even here on the same Kalinga Stadium, it has always been a kind of third quarter where Belgium has dominated that particular quarter, and our defense has held out. I think the defense is going to come into massive play today. I think that's where if they can hold the Belgians off, they can create that little doubt where players like Akashdeep and Mandeep, they can then exploit that particular situation and get a goal. A goal up in this kind of an encounter is high pressure for the other team, and that's what we're going to see. But I would love to see an Indian defense holding out against this aggressive Belgians.
दिलीप, आपको लगता है आज दोनों टीम्स अटैकिंग हॉकी खेलेंगी? दोनों का स्टाइल काफ़ी सिमिलर है, एक कॉम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं ईच दोनों की स्टाइल्स एक दूसरे को?
बिल्कुल, मैं एग्री कर रहा हूँ संदीप जी ने कहा कि आज बेल्जियम टीम काफ़ी स्टैंडर्ड काफ़ी बढ़ गया है, काफ़ी अप हो गया है और अटैकिंग पे काफ़ी उनका कॉन्फिडेंटली अटैक कर रहे हैं आज बेल्जियम। और आज के मैच में मुझे लग रहा है कि आज फोकस करेंगे अटैक के ऊपर, यूज़ करेंगे उनका विंग, दोनों विंग्स को यूज़ करके अटैक और अटैक में, क्योंकि फिट हैं, एक्सपीरियंस खिलाड़ीज हैं, फ्लिकर भी हैं उनके पास। तो मेरे ख्याल से ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा किस तरह के डी के अंदर जाएंगे वो प्लानिंग होगी। लेकिन आज मुझे खुशी इस बात का है कि इंडियन टीम भी आज की तारीख पे बेटर साइड है। आज भी इंडियन टीम का जो मैं देखूंगा फ्रंट लाइन बेहतरीन, जिस तरीके से अटैक कर रहे हैं यंग प्लेयर्स, मेरे ख्याल से बहुत ही अच्छा अटैक कर रहे हैं। और जैसे आपने कहा कि डिफेंस को हमें ध्यान में रखना ही होगा, क्योंकि सिमिलर हॉकी खेल रहे हैं, लेकिन हम स्पेस जहाँ देंगे, जहाँ पे हम ज़्यादा स्पेस देंगे तो उसका फ़ायदा लेंगे ही लेंगे। तो मेरे ख्याल से बेल्जियम एक एक्सपीरियंस साइड है, अच्छे फॉरवर्ड्स हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से ज़्यादा स्पेस ना दें। जैसे कि मलेशिया जैसे काफ़ी स्पेस दे दिया हॉलैंड को, बाद में उन्होंने क्लोज मार्क मैन टू मैन मार्क किए। इनकी यदि स्पेस ज़्यादा नहीं देंगे तो मेरे ख्याल से अच्छा रहेगा इंडिया के लिए। तो बाय द वे होम ग्राउंड में हमेशा, जैसे लास्ट टूर्नामेंट में भी बेल्जियम को यहाँ में बीट किए हुए हैं, उनका भी उस टाइम भी अच्छी साइड थी उनकी भी, गलिंगा हॉकी स्टेडियम में लास्ट टूर्नामेंट में यहाँ पे बीट किए हुए हैं। तो मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस है कि इंडियन टीम भी डेफिनेटली 14-15,000 करोड़ के अंदर बेटर परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे।
You have a point to make?
I just wanted to ask Rick one thing. You just spoke about Akashdeep. He had a bad Commonwealth Games. He was just not there in the matches, and a lot of people at that point were saying that he's probably not fitting in. Then Harinder comes in and then makes him kind of a linchpin between the midfield and the forward line. Do you feel that is the position that a player with the skill set of Akashdeep needs?
Yeah, well, I think that actually fits very well for Akashdeep. He started maybe as a finisher. He was the guy at the front, but he's a clever passer,
Okay.
and he has deception in what he does. He can be looking here and passing there, and I think that that's important to give space to Mandeep, to give space to Lalit, Dilpreet. These people, and they only need a little moment and a little bit of space in the circle, and they can finish. You've got a good corner, so if you get there a lot and you win some corners, then you can score corners. The Belgium's corners haven't been looking good, so from maybe it's just one game, it's a small sample, but leading into the tournament their corners hadn't been going particularly well either. So maybe there's some doubt in their minds there. But I think that the point you make about Akashdeep is good. The other thing, of course, is that what's happening from the back. Manpreet is capable of making the play. He's capable of delivering balls that make goals. So I think you've got in the midfield a pretty good engine, and you've got some finish at the front. The thing about Belgium is, though, physically they're big and strong, and India can't win that contest. India has to avoid that contest. They have to go around them, and it's their speed and their agility that can make the difference. They have to trust that.
टॉकिंग अबाउट आकाश, दिलीप, आपको लगता है आकाश का जो पूरा रोल चेंज किया है हरिंदर ने, उनको और मदद कर रहा है एक लिंकमैन की तरह?
जैसे संदीप ने कहा कि कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स में जिस पोजीशन में उसका ओरिजिनल पोजीशन जो है वहाँ पे जब उनको खिला रहे थे उस टाइम उतना क्लिक कर नहीं पाया था, तो उस हिसाब से हरिंदर उनको अलग रोल दिए हैं। डेफिनेटली आज फ्रंट लाइन की बात करने से सबसे एक्सपीरियंस खिलाड़ी मेरे ख्याल से आकाशदीप है, सबसे एक्सपीरियंस खिलाड़ी आकाशदीप है, काफ़ी स्किलफुल है, स्पीड भी उनके पास है, पर उनको गाइड करना चाहिए, अभी फ्रंट लाइन को लीड करना चाहिए। और जिस तरीके से खेल रहे आकाशदीप, लास्ट मैच में हमने देखा कि क्वाइट अच्छा रहा उनका परफॉर्मेंस भी क्वाइट इंटेलिजेंट अच्छा रहा फ्रंट लाइन टोटली। उसके साथ हमारे ललित हमारे मनदीप हैं, बल्कि सबको लेके चलने से मेरे ख्याल से हमारे जो अटैकिंग फ्रंट लाइन है मेरे ख्याल से बेटर हॉकी खेलेंगे।
Guys, do you think that the contest today will be between 15,000 Indians in the stand and the Belgium team, as it was pointed out by the Belgium captain? Do you think that is the case today?
The crowd will be noisy and we know who they'll be supporting. But in the end, it depends a little bit on what happens in the field. Belgium scores and the crowd will become silent, you know, and in some ways the crowd also provides pressure for India. There's an expectation. So it can go both ways. If India gets their head in front, then the crowd will be a force. There's no doubt about that.
And I think that's what Harinder actually said in the press conference, that it all depends. I mean, if you're a goal down, then suddenly the players also feel the heat, because the crowd goes silent, and then suddenly they are unsure what's happening out here. 15,000 is a plus point. 15,000 can also become a massive pressure point. But I still feel that the crowd would come back in. I mean, you get a goal down, you got 12,000 to 15,000 fans out there. It takes them a minute to get hold of things, and then they'll probably come in and won a couple of good attacks, and then, you know, the whole thing starts flowing again. So the crowd is a plus point. I mean, if you look at the larger picture, it's always a plus point.
The last match, India versus Belgium in the Champions Trophy, they drew against each other. Will that play a part in today's match?
I don't think so. I mean, they're not going to remember all of that right now, because this is a different tournament. And in terms of Champions Trophy and the World Cup, you come into the World Cup with your slate completely clean, because, you know, teams are not different, but teams come in with a completely different mindset here, and not like the Champions Trophy where you come in with a combination. You know, the coaches want to do this, they want to try out something, they want to experiment something. But the World Cup is all about winning. The World Cup is about how you win your matches and go to that semi-final and the final, where it actually means something to pick up that trophy. So I think this is a completely different ball game in that sense.
A win by India will have a psychological, advantage before moving to the quarters. आप agree करते हैं आज का जीत quarters के लिए इंडिया के लिए काफ़ी फ़ायदेमंद रहेगा?
इंडिया के लिए भी, जब उस तरफ हमारे साउथ अफ्रीका कनाडा के लिए जैसे फाइनल मैच है, उसी तरह आज का हम इंडिया और बेल्जियम का फाइनल मैच है क्वार्टर फाइनल के लिए, और क्वाइट टफ दोनों टीम के लिए है। मैच आज का टफ दोनों टीम के लिए है, और क्योंकि हमेशा इंडियन हॉकी टीम कलिंगा हॉकी स्टेडियम में 13-14,000 क्राउड में अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस किए हैं। सो मुझे उम्मीद है कि आज के मैच में भी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे, लेकिन दोनों के लिए आज डेफिनेटली मैं कहूँगा टफ है।
Rick, Dilip just said that India has always performed well, in front of 13,000, 14,000 people in Bhubaneswar. Would you agree to that? And what will be your prediction for today's India versus Belgium match?
Well, I think it'll depend a lot on what happens in the first quarter. If India defends well early, then they are in the game. And as time goes on, the score is level, and India's chance to win is pretty good. I think it's a toss-up. My feeling is that maybe we're going to get a draw today. And
I'll turn it around and ask you a question. In such tight matches where the teams are on an even keel, I mean, would small errors count, or would there be a great move that would actually make the winning team?
Most goals are made by mistakes, by defenders. You never made any, but mainly there's an error. If you look at the pathway to a goal, there's 2 or 3 mistakes usually, and then maybe a goalkeeping error, and so occasionally we see wonderful positive things happening, but usually there's something that the defence didn't get right, and it's. We used to say in our team, no one scores a goal against us unless we make 3 or 4 consecutive errors, and so that's what will count today. The elimination of error in the defence is crucial. And as I said, the challenge for India is that Belgium will hit a lot of balls into the circle hard, if it slips off your stick and hits a foot, it's a corner. If it slips to somebody else, or you just mistrap it and it falls to a Belgium attacker, you know, that's going to be essentially where their goals are going to come from. India's goals will come a little bit differently. I think they'll come from people penetrating the circle, making a pass and a shot, or winning a corner from that play. So Belgium are going to be trying to force errors. Those errors can be really costly today.
But the reason I asked also was because China's first goal was a brilliant move.
Yes.
I mean, it was errors also, but I don't know how he went in and from a zero angle, you know.
Yeah, and so you were saying to me, where's the 3 or 4 errors? He probably shouldn't have got the ball where he got it.
Okay.
But the play was brilliant.
Yeah.
But the goalkeeper made a mistake. He either had to come earlier or stay, and he did neither. Indecisive goalkeeping, and you have a goal.
Gentlemen, it's time for us to wrap up the show. But before we go, Sandeep, your final prediction for today's India-Belgium match.
I still
Quick one.
think, I think India will push their way through today.
Dilip, आपका prediction, final prediction?
मुझे लग रहा है इंडिया का अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस रहेगा। जीत
Scoreline?
मुझे लग रहा है 3-2 स्कोर रहेगा, टफ रहेगा ये।
That's all from here, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll come back tomorrow for new and fresh episodes.